So what's up, everybody? This is Ruben Garcia. This is a beautiful day. And today on the Proven by Ruben podcast, we have Sabriya Dobbins. What's up? How are you?
Hi, Ruben. I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. So if you could tell everyone who you are, what you do, how you do it, and all that good jazz.
Okay. So I am Sabriya Dobbins, and I am originally from Fayetteville.
Okay.
Yes, Vietnam. But
all right, you're accepted.
I reside in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I am actually the founder and CEO recently of Project Passport. It's a wellness travel retreat company. I'm very committed to mental wellness, so this would be an experience where people can really grow personally through travel.
Okay.
So that's what I do.
Perfect.
Did I answer them all?
I think so.
Yes.
So what I think is pretty cool is that I have a lot of CEOs, a lot of upper management, a lot of founders, a lot of business owners. Most of the time, they're already well established. They're still learning and they're still breaking the systems. But more than likely, they're still pretty well established. What I think is pretty cool for you is that you just started.
Yes.
You know?
Literally, I think we're like maybe 4.5 months old. We're a baby.
Baby.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think you're going to bring a unique perspective to owning a business and getting it started and some of the challenges. So if you could, and we're not going to start there just yet. We'll get there, I promise. Where do you see your first entrepreneurial activities? Can you remember back then when you first had those?
Oh my gosh, you're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh. So
I want to laugh.
Do you know the world's finest chocolate? Do you remember that in school? Okay, so I was the top seller back in, I want to say it was probably elementary school that I was fighting tooth and nail to be number one. So my mom had me posted up on base. I would be going, I think we did some door-to-door, probably wasn't safe, but we were going in. So, and I ended up winning second place in elementary school. I was really upset. But by middle school, I was winning first place. I was selling that chocolate, winning those prizes.
What did you learn from elementary to middle school that got you from second to first place?
Oh gosh, I guess, what was it? You know what? The guy who won first place in elementary school, his parents paid for a lot of his chocolate. So what was I going to do on that one?
He had investors.
Yeah, he had investors. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. So I couldn't compete with it, you know.
Right,
my parents were teachers. They were humble. They tried the best they could. But, you know, it was about the business to consumer kind of thing, so. Yeah.
Huh. I wonder what the parents did with it afterwards. Did they flip it and make a profit?
I don't know.
Interesting.
Well,
Interesting.
we never know.
Well, cool. So what did, do you remember what your prize was when you won first place in middle school?
A lot of times they allow us, like we had this thing where we go in this machine and you can catch the money. I've done something like that.
Cool.
It's a lot of different things they do. I know you could win like cash prizes and things like that.
Right.
So it was probably something financial. I
dig it. So you learned a lot, about sales, I'm sure, and getting uncomfortable in that moment. What was your next step of that entrepreneurial journey? What did you dip your hands into, basically?
Gosh, I'm trying to think.
We're going back.
I know. I'm trying to think. Like my life is a blur. I guess the next thing that I did was it didn't really trigger again until more. Oh, I remember. So I want to say it was also in elementary, middle school. I would sell those fortune teller things. Mm-hmm. You remember those things where you like have the 1, 2, 3, 4 in there and you decide what your life will be? Yeah. I sold those things. Literally.
Did you hook people up where the fortune was good 100% of the time? Or were you one that made it 50-50 where it was doom and gloom 50% of the time and great 50% the other?
I say 50-50. I was a realistic person. Life's not going to be always 100%. Right. I would be fair to them. I want to prepare them. Mm-hmm. So
my first open house, this reminds me of that. My first open house, and my daughter is now, and we were just talking about this, 13 years old. When she was younger, my first open house, we put a sign outside that said free fortune telling. Right?
That is brilliant.
Yep. And people would walk in and she would sell, or she would do the fortune teller.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Which they didn't know what they were getting into. They just walked in, right? But they did this. And then she sold these, what was it? I think it was little bracelets. And the money, like 50% of the money was going to go towards, I want to say Cape Fear. Something within Cape Fear.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's a smart selling technique. I gotta take some notes.
Like, we gotta get him in.
Awesome.
But yeah, we used the fortune teller thing.
I love it. Yeah. So it's a thing. It's a thing.
Oh yeah,
they
for
sell.
Sure. Uh-huh. We didn't sell the house. All right, so I still have a lot of those connections though, and they're in my database.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Yeah. So climbing up that ladder, because I know you're also in real estate as well. Was there anything before real estate that you were almost in that commission-based world where you have to be very entrepreneurial?
Gosh, I would say no. What I did was I took a detour. I'm not going to lie. I ended up trying to take this path. I thought I wanted to be a veterinarian. I went to college, even got the animal science degree, and my life totally was not what I thought it would be. I lived a life I felt that was just because I was smart, and I thought that I would chase that dream of being the girl with the 4.0, being the girl with the good grades.
Right.
So I kind of lost that side of me for a while before I got into the real estate, which kind of brought me back to the sales.
Right.
So honestly, I wish that I had done more back then, because then I could, every bit would have helped. Everything always helps get you to where you are.
Sure.
But yeah, I took that detour.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What was some of the main reasons?
Fear. I lived a lot of my life out of fear. I did things because I knew that if I took the safer way, that I would, I couldn't lose. And so, I even think back to as a child, I didn't apply for that play. I didn't audition in high school. And I look back saying I could have been Dorothy, or, my entire high school to college years, I felt like were so fear-based that I didn't do the things that I wish I would have done.
Yeah, because would you say that you were playing not to lose versus playing to win?
Exactly. I did everything I could to prevent losing, and because I was so used to getting that support from my parents and getting that, good job, Sabriya. She's smart. She's 4.0. That's what I was known for. So what else could I do?
If you think back, where was when do you believe is the first time that you actually didn't get that, where you moved into a zone where it was super uncomfortable and you didn't get the good job?
Ooh, oh gosh, I would say. Okay, I had a couple events in my life. So my first B+ ever, I cried. That was in second grade.
Whoa.
I cried when I got a B. It was in cursive. I never forgot that day. That's how sad that's how crazy I had become over time. It was something that had just happened to me. And then, I think in college, I did have a turning point. So I graduated college. I worked in new home sales. Then I went to work in higher ed. I know it's a long journey going on, but we're getting to the point here. So I thought I wanted to go get my PhD. So I, was doing everything. I started my MBA and everything, enrolled into that, trying to roll up to the PhD. And I connected with a PhD program kind of coordinator. Like, she was a professor, and she was supposed to be working with me to help me get into the PhD program.
Right.
One day she just stopped responding to me. Literally, we're working together. I'm on this track to this PhD. Everything's already set up for me and why I'm doing what I'm doing. And she just stopped responding. And that moment for me it was devastating, because then it felt like, I know it sounds dumb to like maybe other people, but to me, I literally saw my future fall before my eyes because I thought that was going to be my opportunity. It was a grant that was set up that I would have been able to afford the education. So everything kind of fell apart for me. And that's when I kind of didn't know what I was doing anymore.
Yeah. What happened? Where'd she go? Do we know?
I still don't know.
Really?
I don't know what I did. I don't know
What's her name? Let's put her on blast.
Oh,
no, let's not.
I really don't even know. I don't even remember her name, but she was going to be my ticket to this future. And I was so desperate for it. But in a crazy way, it's like it almost happened for me. Of course, that this happened. I don't know if I could be where I am now if that hadn't happened. I'd probably be sitting right now talking to you as a PhD student or soon to be PhD student. And that's the truth, because I would have taken that fear-based route, and I probably would have regretted it down the line. But
so it had to happen.
It had to.
This is like a forced.
It had to.
Yeah.
It had to happen.
So what did you take out of that moment? Obviously, you were upset and kind of probably PO'd about it. But like, what did you take out of that to the next level in your life, in your business, and everything?
Yeah. So for me, I realized that sometimes if you have to, they say you work hard, fight for something to make it happen. But sometimes if things just don't feel right and that you're just doing something just to do it, which I was just doing the PhD just because I'm like, hey, why not teach? I'm smart.
Right.
I think it was meant to be. And for me, I'm actually glad that it happened, because it also allowed me to find the world of entrepreneurship again.
Right.
So I had done fast forwarding back, I had done new home sales, entered academia, thought I wanted to do a PhD. Then I came back to this place of, what do I really, it forced me to think, what do I really want? What does Sabriya Dobbins want? Because all my entire life, it was about what Sabriya Dobbins looked like to the world. Sabriya was so worried about how she portrayed. You went internal. I did. It made me dig. And then I found Project Passport just kind of over months and time of just writing. It always had been something in my head, but I just said, why not spit this out and make it a thing?
Right.
And through some pushing from my fiance, I was able, to do it, believe it or not. And it's,
right.
I'm still kind of in shock that it's happening.
Yeah. Okay. So the idea of this business started to roll around in your head. What was the aha or what had to happen in order for it to turn into idea to implementation?
Me. I have been my biggest enemy my entire life. And I spent so much time blaming everyone else for why this wasn't happening for me, or why I wasn't doing this, or I can't do this because I need this, or me. When I finally said to myself, Sabriya, when you can accept the consequences of your choices, and when you can look at yourself in the mirror and be happy with who you are, that's when you're going to live a good life. And so for me, I had built, my fiance and I, long story short, we moved to Belize briefly. He had gotten a job out there, and I was out there home every day in the apartment. I didn't have a car, so I was working on the website. Finally, it was something that I had so many notes from things that I had wrote down from getting up to that point. So I'd already had, the business plan, the mission, the vision, all that had already been created before I got there. And so I literally launched it while I was out there because I was so isolated. And I really finally said to myself, Sabriya, you're your biggest enemy. You're the enemy.
Right.
So when I took accountability, that's when it changed and I was able to do this.
Yeah. So how important is that for people to kind of sit with themselves and give them time to chew on their ideas and spit it out on paper? Because I find that so many people get so quote unquote busy that they don't really have time to even go through their own thoughts. And it sounds like you had an opportunity to kind of be by yourself, be isolated, and really pull those ideas out of the cloud onto paper.
Yeah.
How important is that for people?
Yeah, honestly, I'm appreciative of Belize because if Belize didn't happen, my company probably couldn't have happened because I was isolated. So I do think that taking and peeling away the extra things in your life are kind of important. Yeah. Whether they realize it or not. Maybe it's, maybe it could be a relationship holding them back. Maybe it's, a friendship where you're not having those supportive friends. It's exactly. So whatever is holding you back, you need to start peeling those layers because in the end, you have to live the life. In the end, if you don't chase those dreams, no one's going to come to you and say, oh, Sabriya, you didn't start project. No one's going to care because not that no one doesn't care about you, but they're focused on their dreams. They're in their world. So you have to remember not to make everything about everybody else and what's going on, but to have to take the time for you. So for me, that isolation, it was so key. And I bought all these entrepreneurship books, Christian ones, actually. Some are regular, some are Christian entrepreneurship. I read the entire time in Belize. I spent reading and building the website, reading. You have to prep your mind. It's like kind of like a doctor prepares you for surgery. Right. You're literally preparing your brain to be an entrepreneur because it's a whole other world when you step in. And I know you know.
Yeah. I was talking to someone yesterday or 2 days ago, and they said, what's the biggest challenge you have when it comes to maybe even real estate agents to create that multiple 6-figure income? And I was like, their mindset. Like, I think they thought I was going to say to find their leads or to have the best CRM. No, it's their mindset. You got to prep that mind every single day. And, it's not a one-time deal, right? You have to work on that thing every single day. Every day. So what were some of those books that were helping you prep your mind?
Okay, so believe it or not, I have a really good friend, Mark Mayer. I see him kind of as a support system because he's been through entrepreneurship before me. He recommended The God Guarantee. It's a book that talks about scarcity. So if you can get your mind out of that scarcity mindset and start thinking in this abundance mindset, it will change everything. So it has a lot of case studies in it and really it takes the biblical side of it, but it still kind of helps you reform how you see the world and how you go about things. When you change that scarcity kind of idea of, oh gosh, I don't have enough for this, and start thinking of, if this will happen, the right people will come in my life. So I specifically, even when I pray, I say, please, Lord, please provide me the right people. Not even just the finances, but the right people. Because there's gain in people too. People don't realize that. Right. So it's not all about money. It's about also having the right, customers, the right workers, all that. So that book really changed things. And I would say also the book, it's kind of on the girl's side, but Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. Yeah.
I hear this one a lot. My buddy read it. A guy, so.
It's good though. It's a good book. It's a get up and get out the chair book. It's a stop making excuses book, which I think is really important.
Yeah. So as you were running through this book and you started to see the separation between scarcity and abundance, abundancy. Where in your own life did you see that you were putting energy towards scarcity?
Oh, that's a good one. I would say the mindset of, if I do this, I don't have enough money. Or if I do this, I won't be good enough. I think it was two things: emotional scarcity and financial scarcity.
Right.
I really honestly did not think I was cut out to be a CEO. I really didn't. I felt that, I was much of an emotional person. I am an empath. That's the word, empath. I don't know how to pronounce it, but
empath.
Yeah. That word. And so I felt that, how can I do this? How can I run people? I mean, I was always that girl that I was outgoing, but I didn't want to be in the way.
Right.
So I think that book really taught me that I need to dial into my abundance within.
Right.
But also, financially, it will happen. You have to go into that thought process of, okay, so I'm going to make this money. And honestly, I don't know how it happens, but financially, things are just meeting ends. Things just happen. They fall to place. I don't know how to explain it. I can't even tell you.
Yeah.
It's bigger than me.
So some people, that's a real thing, right? So it first starts with think, or your thought, and people need that reassurance through the actual tangible that they just saw it.
Yes.
What in your world was the first abundant thing that happened where you were like, holy moly, thinking abundant really does work?
Oh, shoot. So this is a stupid story. I mean, people...
Stop. It's not a stupid story.
I mean, people may think it's crazy, but okay. So I was... I think we had moved back from Belize, and I was stressing because I had to pay some type of check or something I had to pay something. So, two things happened. I had filed my taxes from last year, and I had read this book. I got in this abundant mindset. My tax refund was excessively larger than I ever expected. Honestly, I really had planned for half the amount I got.
Yeah.
I know I didn't cheat on my taxes, I swear. So that moment, and then I paid for my entire car off, so that changed everything. That really put me in a place of, now I can really afford to do this company.
Right.
Then a little couple weeks down the line, I had owed some other bill that I was stressing about. I got a refund on my gap insurance that I had no idea I was going to get. I know it sounds crazy, but it's like something just starts to happen. I mean, even now I'm going through a real estate transaction, and it's a real estate transaction I didn't even plan for in my budget. That just is happening now,
right,
which gives me opportunity to put into my business.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my story. I know it's kind of random, but
no, I mean, I think it's real, right? And one that I think about is crazy is that, we were on food stamps, and it was a tough time, and there was a time where I didn't think that we were going to do well financially, and I'd be darned, and I still have the envelope. There was an envelope of cash in my mailbox.
No.
Yeah, out of nowhere. Has no return address, has nothing.
That gives me goosebumps. It's literally giving me goosebumps.
It's like, what? What just happened? And then there was a small letter in it, and I probably should know the words, because the listeners are probably on edge right now. I want to know more. I forget what it said, but it was very short. It was one sentence. And I was like, are you kidding me? But these are some of the things that because it's easy to say, think abundant. Don't think scarcity. But once you really commit to it, things start happening, and you're like, whoa, what's happening right now, right?
And they're things that you can't even call luck. Yeah. I mean, they're just, you can't explain them.
You just say thank you.
You do.
Yeah, and you have the gratitude, right?
Yeah.
And accept it and just be happy for it, right? So, cool, awesome. So, changing your mindset was huge. Love it. You got your idea on paper. What was one of the first steps that you did to get this thing lifted off the paper and into real life? Getting it moving.
So I'm a doer. So once I'm in it, I'm rolling. So I went on and did the LegalZoom process. I wanted to, because some people will go, they don't start off legit, and that's fine. And, it could be, you could do that, but it gets risky sometimes. Oh,
okay.
You say, So for me, I just like to have all that out the way. So I did start LegalZoom paperwork while in Belize. But a big thing was doing the website. I spent weeks on end just doing the website, because that's where everything that is in your brain goes.
Right.
All the things that you've written down and you've prepared, they all need to be there. Mm-hmm. Now, everybody will say, I know you have to have a business plan, all that good stuff. When you mine was rough, but your plan kind of happens as you go.
And changes.
Yeah. My entire website I built in Belize is totally not even exactly like the one I built that I have now.
Yeah.
So I would say website and getting your legalities taken care of if you want to get that out the way.
Got it. Okay. So someone goes to your website and they look at Project Passport. Obviously, the people are listening right now, but what is Project Passport? So pretend like they're looking at the page basically, and they want to know the About Me section. What is Project Passport? What does it have? What kind of value does it have? Talk to us about that.
Project Passport is your sounding board. I think of our company as an opportunity to, it's a retreat company, but it's really an opportunity to retreat from the life that you're living. Not that you're having a bad life, but, I'm all for going to counseling even when you don't need it. It's one of those things that, you may think in that moment that I don't need to go do something for my mental health and my mental wellness, but then you don't do anything and then everything comes and hits you at once. So this is an opportunity to take a reprieve, to breathe. When you come on the website, we're focused on having open arms. Our 3 main values are community, personal growth, and reflection. So our retreats all have a theme. And each of the retreats have a theme that's going to focus on you personally. So, for example, our first retreat is Cancun next May. And we are focused on self-care, and we're also focused on self-care and purpose.
Right.
So we're digging into the concept of why you're here, what are you doing, why are you doing it? And so the exercises on these excursions and these experiences throughout that trip and the discussions are going to circle around those concepts. So if you come to Project Passport, if you look on the website, you're going to just get a feeling of welcomeness and of, the concept that mental wellness is not a taboo thing at all.
Right. Are kids welcome to things like this?
So we don't have a kids retreat yet. Right now, most of our stuff are pushed towards, 21 and up. However, we do see the need is expanding in many areas. So we're looking at even creating retreat opportunities for teachers. We're looking at a veterans opportunity as well. I mean, we're literally going to be presenting something to the Veterans Administration for veterans. Right. Because we realize that this really translates over a lot of people.
Sure.
I mean, mental health is something we all need to treat as we treat our physical health. Yeah. When it comes to going to the gym, as much as you go to do things in the gym, you need to do that for yourself in your head.
Yeah. 100%. Yes. 100%. I think it's cool that you have a theme to each retreat.
Yes.
Right? So one, you're kind of forced to step away from your everyday life because it's a retreat. It's not where your house is at. And you are more unplugged than you would be if it were just a course or you're driving down the street to go to a what do you call it? Oh, jeez.
What are they?
Where you're talking to someone, you're telling them all your problems.
Therapist?
Thank you.
Therapy.
Jeez Louise.
Oh, I would know. I've gone this week. Don't worry.
Yeah. But it's an unplug, right? It's like a true unplug because you're still a little plugged in, right? You're still in the same city. You're still in the same town. And so I think it's physically removing you from your place. And so that you can emotionally remove for a second and kind of take that breather and kind of learn a little bit about each one of these themes. That's awesome, man.
Yes, thank you.
So do you have is there a where else, basically? So we got Cancun. What else we got?
Yes. So we have a couples experience to Greece. So we're actually going to be partnering with love coaches that I met years ago, and they're fantastic. So they're going to actually provide services and support and actually lead some different presentations and workshops for the couples while we're in Greece. We also have a retreat to Kenya next year. That's in more late July. And that'll be exploring the concept of who you are. So really digging into what makes you tick. If you know why you do what you do and understand your weak spots, understand your strengths, you're going to save yourself a lot of heartache.
For sure.
People live in denial. I mean, I lived in denial. But now, even as a CEO, I more so than ever have to know my weak spots because then how can I improve the company and know where to fill in those gaps?
Ugh. You're speaking my language. I'm a true gap finder.
Yes.
I love the gaps, man. It's an opportunity every day.
Every day.
Cool. So what maybe if you could give us like a quick little look into how we do discover that purpose, because I know a lot of people run into that as well. Where you felt the struggle, I felt the struggle. How, if you could just a real
peel a little bit,
just a taste, right, of how someone gets closer to finding their purpose.
I would say you need to start with your values. If you can understand your core values, that you're starting pretty baby. I mean, it's really hard. People don't ever take the time to figure out what is their core, like what they believe. So for example, I've learned that my value is empathy. That's my strongest value. That drives me more than any other value that I have. Right. Not saying I don't have other sub values, but that's my primary. So once I understood that kind of helped me kind of formulate and drive towards my purpose. I know that I want whatever I'm doing to help people. Right. I know that I also love to travel. That's a sub value. And so things like that, understanding those core parts of you help lead you into that purpose. And then also, I'll be talking about this at another event, so it's really funny, but also the concept of accountability. If you can be accountable for yourself, if you can give yourself the time each day to reflect and to look at the things you're good at or not good at or like or don't like, you can start digging towards that purpose. Most people live a life on autopilot. You know, my life, I'm not going to lie, for several years was on, I'm sure
autopilot,
was on autopilot.
Yeah.
So that's why we live this drone life. We're upset, we're frustrated because we're not taking the time to just be with yourself.
Yep.
Not anybody else, be with yourself.
Yep.
So those are two things, values and accountability, that can help lead into that purpose.
Yeah, that's huge. And just to touch on this real quick, you know, when people do find the time by themselves, they're turning on the freaking news, right? Yeah. And then they're just like, they're over.
Yeah, you lose the whole thing.
Right? I mean, what did you just do, right? You just like pour toxic mess in your brain, right?
Oh, yeah.
So when I'm guessing when you say by yourself, like true silence, true conversation, like internal, like just sitting with yourself.
Yes, and don't be afraid of silence.
Right.
People are afraid of it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I talk a lot, so of course.
Yeah.
But that silence, man, it starts to speak to you in a way that you probably won't even realize.
What do you find when you get silenced? Like, what is the number one emotion, would you say, that starts to float to the surface?
I would say first, of course, you're going to have to get to the fear. The fear starts to come in because you're thinking of all the things that you have to do in your life.
It's a good point.
They're popping all around your head. It happens. I'm not going to sit here and lie and tell you, oh, it's flowers and roses. Like, it's true.
Right.
All the fears and the things that need to be done and the things that can go wrong pop up first.
Right.
And that's okay. But then as I continue to dig, I start to write. You know, sometimes I just write anything, you know, write what I'm feeling. But then I start to dream. I start to come up with the ideas and start to visualize where I want to be and how that's going to happen. A lot of people talk about that. In every entrepreneurship book I've read, they talk about visualizing what that future will look like for you. That is so key. And writing it down in detail, to the single detail of what color your nails may be, you know, or what color your kitchen cabinets will be in that house you want. So really, after you get through that bubbling of fear, going to that place of, okay, where am I trying to go?
Right.
Then you can start dialing back of figuring out, okay, well, now I know where I'm going to go. So what are the things I need to do to get there? And you keep going back and back until you get to what you can physically do that day. Yeah.
That's huge, man. That's huge. And, I mean, I think, so for me, you know, I sometimes find myself losing focus of that, right? Like I'll run the affirmations in the morning and the visualization and staying quiet and taking in the reading and the audiobooks. I do the audiobooks every day, but the silence and affirmations, for whatever reason, that will get away from me throughout the week. What would you tell someone like me who loves affirmations, loves visualization, and still will make it sometimes an excuse in the day of why we can't fit it in? What would you tell me?
I would say first, give yourself grace. You know, as people, we do fail to do that. I beat myself up. I'm my biggest critic sometimes. So one, don't beat yourself up. Give yourself grace and understand that it's okay that you're not going to be able to do that every day. But what I can say is, even if it's that late night moment that you're laying in the bed and you haven't fell asleep yet, if you're thinking, or if you jump up and type something on your iPhone that you can think of that comes to your head or your heart, still just even in those middle moments that are maybe not structured, but it's okay. You know, sometimes I don't always do the things that I should do in the morning, but I do try to make sure that I just lay there sometimes and just be grateful. Think about the things that have gone well that day.
Right.
And I mean, even when you post on, I love when you post on Proven by Ruben, you talk about what are your victories, what are the things that went well, because we all dwell on things that go wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
But giving yourself grace is everything, and you'll be glad that you did.
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Good.
I'm going to give myself grace today.
Yeah, give yourself grace. You know, you are doing fabulous, and you're not going to always have it right, and that's okay.
Right. Well, I appreciate that, and I think a lot of viewers will take that in as well, right?
Yeah.
So you're growing your business.
Yeah.
And now we have, how many spots have you solidified on the calendar that we're going to be actually have some of these retreats? How many spots? What are we looking at?
So it's low, okay?
Yeah, we're at 4 months in?
Yes,
so,
but here's the thing. We do have slots for another event. So the retreats are slow. So Cancun is not until another year. I have a lot of interest. So I have people that have already kind of indicated, like, look, I want a slot. Right now, nothing solid yet, but I know it's coming.
Yes.
It's been a couple months. But we do have a conference event in Fayetteville, North Carolina, the Transform Her Conference that we're holding. It's an opportunity to provide domestic kind of retreat opportunities for people.
Okay.
Not everybody's will be able to make it abroad. So we provided an affordable conference event. It's pretty much all sold out. We have about 13 tickets left and over 50 slots, which is awesome.
Wow.
we are going to be having the event on August 3rd, 11 to 2 for women. So if you know anyone or if anybody's on the podcast that's interested, come on out. I know. Men, we got you. We got you down the line. But yes, the retreats, they're coming. Yeah. It's going to take time. But
I think this is why I wanted to do this podcast. Because again, a lot of the people I've talked to are established, but it's been years in the game. Mm-hmm. It's kind of cool to see the entry level business owner and is projecting it to hit next year.
Yes. Right? I'm already rolling. It's not even till next May.
You haven't pulled a profit, right? You're in the red, and it looks like you might be in the red for a year. Mm-hmm. But the reason, the passion, the how much you know it's going to work, how much you know other people need this in their life, that's what's driving you through the red.
Yeah.
And know it'll be green in the future. Yeah. And I think that's important that entrepreneurs need to know that.
Yes.
Right? They look at Instagram and they're like, yo, I'll get a Lambo in a week.
You're right. They only see that. And that's, you know what? That's true. And that's why it's so important. I even try now. You've gotten me actually showing, even doing short-term lives on my social media.
Them. I've been watching them.
Yes. Just to show people that, it's not going to always be perfect. And it's hard. Like there's moments where I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to book a retreat. I need something to show up. But I also know the right one and you don't want just anybody to book either. You want to make sure it's the right people, that it will really, truly help them. And you want to make sure these aren't people that are just going to cancel. They have a couple days to do so. So you want to make sure these are people who are solid.
Yeah.
And you want to make sure that you are finding those gaps. So maybe I do need to add more to the website on certain areas. We are looking at running TV ads. We're growing. We have our digital content improving. So it's going to be a point where you don't see a lot. For me, I'm grateful for the conference. That's been, that was kind of been my kind of driver. Like if I sold a conference, I can sell a retreat. I can sell some t-shirts. I can sell everything,
Yeah.
So you got to, take those small victories and realize they will lead into the bigger victories.
For sure, because it's starting conversations, right? And that'll multiply. Yes. That'll multiply because it's not you screaming from the rooftop, right? It's others. It's others.
Mm-hmm. That's everything.
That's everything. And it just will be a ripple effect, man. So for you, what has been the biggest challenge from 0 to 4 months that you found while growing this business for you?
Self-doubt. So for me, there are moments where maybe I don't see things kind of lining up the way I want them to line up. So then I start questioning if this whole company is crazy. There's moments I'm like, whoa, maybe I should just go back to work and forget that any of this ever happened. Because mind you, I'm full-time entrepreneurship. I decided to take the leap. Not saying that everyone should just go quit their jobs. And, I know that it's a risk. But for me, accountability kicks in. And I've decided to be accountable. And I know the risk. I have the savings. And I know that where my runway ends. And if it starts to end, I know what I have to do. I have my options laid out. So honestly, for me, the 4 months has been just feeling like I can really do this. There's moments where you'll question, like, is this whole company stupid and should I just cancel it all? But then I also have my moments where I'm like, there's people telling me, Sabriya, I read your blog on your website that, supporting your company and it changed my life. Or Sabriya, man, I really want to get on those retreats. I'm saving up. Don't forget about me. And so moments like that keep me going of, okay, it's okay. This is going to happen. It's going to work. So when that first, second, third retreat, fifth retreat, 50th retreat books, I'll look back and think about how much I pushed to get to where I am. I'll be grateful, so much more grateful because I've gone through this. For
sure. Absolutely. For your business where you're at right now, is it just you? Do you have other people in the business? Talk to me about that.
So right now, the primary ownership and, who I am, I'm the one that's running the whole show. But I do have the support system, which I am so grateful for. So, of course, family and friends, of course, helping out here and there. But I do have contract employees that I've brought into the business. And I'm hoping to continue to bring in more to build a team. So I have a right-hand gal. She's fantastic. And she kind of helps me plan my retreats, helps me with, blog content and different areas of the business. Then I also kind of have a guy that's digital marketing, kind of in the brand ambassador. Then I also have just brand ambassadors in general overall for the company. So, they've come in and they're kind of starting out and they understand what they're getting into. I'm very committed to telling people like, look, you're getting into a startup. So this could either, not go as planned or it could go great. But at the same time, I'm here. I'm for this. This is all me. I'm going full blown. I quit everything else. This is me. So understand that I'm riding this train as hard as I can and your support is appreciated. So, because you kind of have to sell your startup to your employees as much as you have to sell it to yourself. And it's kind of a back and forth thing, So I have found people that I think really believe in my vision. And that I think will be the driver to really keep this company going. I mean, I can't do it alone. I know that. So
yeah, exactly. And I think you bring up a good point that you have to sell your idea. You have to sell your vision to other people because you can't say like, if they're coming into the business, here's your package basically.
Yeah.
This is your salary. This is you're gonna be here at making.
We don't got all that.
Dude, I mean, like that. But that's also the mindset of a lot of employees, right? The employee mindset is that's all they're looking at, not the vision. And for startups, you have to sell the vision, and not the package, the employee package, right? And so when you have people who believe in your vision the way that they do, you know they're in it for the long haul. You know they're in it for the crap days, for the good days. Those people are tied to something bigger than just a package.
Love it. I mean, it's exactly how it is. And for me, you know, I even talked to one of the people I hired on a day, and he was telling me how grateful he was for me to provide him this opportunity. That meant everything to me, because to know that he's like, you know, I'm here to give all the skills I have. I'm going to do whatever it takes to grow this digital marketing side of your company. That really made me, you know, see that this guy is not just in love with just having a job, because he knows that he's getting paid basically on our results for the most part. And so that's how dedicated he is. He's willing to put in all this work up front. Just that, to me, I'm honored to even have people that feel that way. I'm very humbled. I don't feel like I'm doing people a favor, even though they really are so grateful to me. And I'm like, no, I'm grateful for you.
Yeah.
That's how I see my employees and my team members. So
I dig it.
Yeah.
I dig it. And I think you dropped another bomb there that I got to just like jump on, is that, you know, people growing their business, they may feel like, oh, you know what? I can't pay for a salary. I can't pay hourly, or I can't pay per project. But I think entrepreneurs are very sleek on the way that they can do some things, right? Because I just started a new position in my business, and it doesn't have a salary. It's only paid on results. Yeah. Now, the result is I get paid. Right? So I get paid and they get paid once that result happens.
Yes.
Right? So what does that do? It doesn't build a ceiling for them. They can make as much money as they want to make.
Exactly.
Right? But just for other entrepreneurs who may be starting up their company, you don't have to pay an hourly gig. Yeah. Right? It can be paid on results in the very beginning.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the only person that's hourly is my right-hand gal, and that's it.
Right.
And, you know, I allocate it for that. But honestly, all the people I'm bringing on, their contract, you know, they're going to be on the commission-based side of things. And there are people out there that are willing. Like I said, if you sell that vision, people will take on and believe in it. And so I think that's a great way to start as a company. If you don't have that money, start off with commission-based roles. You don't know who will apply.
Yep. Exactly. And you'll know the talented people, right?
Yes.
Because they'll show up and they're like, okay, watch me.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, shoot. Just stay right?
I'm telling you, I had a rigorous process. I had I had them apply. Okay, first they could apply on Indeed, but I made them go to the website and apply. So those who didn't, they were weeded out. I had them come in for a webcam interview or a phone interview. They didn't do that, weeded out. Then I had people that I gave them a homework assignment for a social media homework assignment. Then we had an in-person interview. So that helped me weed out. And so if you're going to do commission, you do have those people that just try to jump on the bandwagon and want to get a job. But if you find people that are serious, they're going to stick it out. They're going to go through all the steps. And so the people I have, they were the cream of the crop. And they're the initial people that I felt on impulse, they'd be the right people. So it's crazy to see that your gut is right usually.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dang, now I want to meet the team. I'm going to have to come up to Raleigh, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to come up to Raleigh and like just say hi to the team and then drive back. They seem like some pretty cool people, right?
They are.
So where is this business going to be at the end of 2019?
Ooh, that's a good one. So I'm seeing at least Cancun sold out for sure.
Okay.
At least most of Kenya and Greece being sold out. And I'm seeing the team have growing a little bit more. And I'm hoping to be able to pull in a few full-time opportunities through that. I really am committed to the people of my company that are going to be serving and making a difference for the customers. A lot of companies miss that mark, in my opinion, where they focus more on only just the customers. But if they don't realize that if your team members and employees are happy, they're going to make the customers happy. Sure. They're going to produce wonderful work. So my true goal, like I said, is to really bring in some of those full-time positions and to get these retreats going. We're also looking at pushing some apparel to support the brand, so that'll be going as well. So trying to find kind of multiple streams of opportunities through the company that are still feasible. That's the goal.
Are you documenting everything? I know some of my clients are like, listen to this guy, because they hear me say this all the time.
Yes.
Are you?
I try to. For the most part, you got me into it. So now I know you got me into it. Yeah. So I know it's so key. So I try to. I do many video clips, but I probably should write down more things and even record my own like personal like hour-long videos for myself. I should.
Do you think that if you were to write them down, in the long run, when this whole thing works out, that maybe you're going to have a dang good story that you could put in a book and then sell?
Probably.
Right?
Probably.
You had a great story, right? You were stuck in you're stuck in this kind of this reoccurring self-doubt, fear-based world where eventually you broke out of it, right?
Yes.
Started believing in yourself. In the red for a year plus, right? And I mean, I think it'd be a really good book. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You're right. I do need to put. So I probably will start putting even more energy to document because you're right. I mean, this could change. You know, it's not about me. You know, it's crazy.
Who's that going to inspire?
Yeah, it's about who can I impact.
Yeah,
so, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right. It's selfish not to document it.
100%.
Yeah,
you're so selfish. No, I'm messing. Yes. That's awesome. I love it, man. So we're looking at that at the end of 2019. What would be the pinnacle, the mega retreat that you, if booked, you would just jump out of that chair and just like scream, just start screaming? What would be the place you'd want to go, the people you'd want there, and the subject matter behind the scene?
Ooh. So I would love to provide, oh gosh, I have a lot of things. Okay, so the
pinnacle.
Okay, pinnacle. Okay. So I know it sounds crazy, but I've always thought about the people who cannot afford these type of opportunities and how travel has literally changed my life. And from a little girl coming from Fayetteville, North Carolina with teacher parents, I never thought that I'd be able to go to over 10 countries throughout my life. So believe it or not, my company, we want to have some philanthropy opportunities where we'll be able to book people onto our trips and cover their entire cost to attend. Right. So maybe it's a single mom who's never had that opportunity. Maybe it's a child or a kid who graduated high school and never thought they'd be able to travel abroad, but they're doing well, but they don't have the finances. Right. So honestly, if I could afford a retreat where I could bring on several people and sponsor an entire retreat for people who need it most, that would make me happy. And I guess going somewhere that just out of this world, maybe Japan or something like that, something that's just unbelievable that they could never imagine doing. Not just going to the Caribbean, because you could save up and fly down, but really doing something just out of this world. Yeah. I mean, really just providing them an opportunity to be inspired by life and knowing that there is just because of your background or just because of what you're going through, that doesn't define who you are. Right. That's everything to me. I know it's going to be a financial thing for the company, but it's not about the tax break. It's not about the money for the company or what it's going to shell out for us. It's really about how that can change the world, Mm-hmm. So, I know it's big thinking, but. No,
I love it. I love it. I do, man. I dig that because there's my wife hears me say it all the time. I mean, one of the biggest things the reason I don't think you can make enough money, right? Yeah. Because there's not enough money you can give away. Yeah. Right? So like.
Unless you're Bill Gates, right?
Unless you're Bill Gates. Bill Gates, love you on the podcast. What I'd like to, no, you're good. What I'd like to do is, man, there's so many people that I come in contact with that can't, and it's funny, travel. They can't go to see their family where they're originally from, right? They can't have these Christmases that they want or Thanksgiving, whatever it is. And I want to be the one I'm like, you better get your butt on that plane and back into your hometown or whatever, because I'm gonna fund the whole thing. Yeah. Like that's happened, or it's come up more often than not where I couldn't help. Yeah. But I wish I would just, when that day comes, I have enough. I'm just gonna.
God, I mean, that feels better than almost anything. Isn't that crazy? 100%. It literally feels better than anything to me.
Yeah, because they appreciate it. Yeah. They appreciate. I mean, not that the wealthy don't appreciate. Yeah. Believe me, that's not what I'm saying. But like. For someone who doesn't believe yet that they can ever have that experience, and you've given that
to magic, them. Man. It's magic. What? It is magic. It's life changing. And so to me, when I can do that one day, then I know that I think I've almost pretty much fulfilled the major purpose of my life. I guess we'll also always have purposes in different ways that'll evolve and change, but that is like one of my pinnacle moments that I will have, that I know that I've done something.
Yeah, for sure. What about a place? And it doesn't necessarily have to be on Earth. What place would you want to go to that would be the pinnacle for you?
Gosh, I guess I've always wanted to go to Dubai, believe it or not.
Oh,
that sounds crazy.
That's cool.
I just like I'm very into technology, and I love the high-tech, futuristic type thing. Right. So I wish that I could be alive in like 2100 or something like that, which I'm pretty. If I lived to 2100, I'd be shocked. But
we don't know what's gonna happen.
I mean,
watching your book that comes out in 2100.
I
made it.
I'd probably be like,
I made it.
But I wish that I could be alive to see what the world will be. I love just the growth, the changes. I mean, yes, there's the bad that comes with it, but
I get it.
But Dubai to me just seems like such a futuristic place, and in their technologies and the things you can do, even past America. So I think it'd be really cool.
What would you bring the retreat to Dubai? What would be the subject where the environment is kind of bringing alive the subject, right? So you're kind of playing on the environment of Dubai. What would you cover with your people there?
Well, we do try to hit social aspects of the retreat. So I do know at Dubai there's the dark side, there's the wealth gap. So we'll probably talk about that. But then we'll also talk about, our own wealth and like wealth management. I thought it would be kind of cool to provide, maybe have someone that we bring out that knows how to manage wealth and does well in that area.
Right.
Maybe providing kind of opportunities, providing some counseling for doing some different exercises for the people who attend that retreat. I think it'd be cool. And then also the concept of emotional intelligence or emotional wealth, I like to call it. I think those all kind of stem from just this experience can really kind of tie back into that as well.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm excited about Dubai. Yes. All right. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. Is that cool?
Yes.
And I didn't pull it up, so.
It's the rapid fire. Oh,
yeah.
No.
It's the rapid fire. So if you want, you can answer these. I'm looking for the questions right now.
Okay, fair enough.
I apologize for.
I'm nervous for the rapid fire. I don't know if I'm gonna do it.
Oh, let me grab the nervous question.
Oh no!
Yep, the real hard ones. Got them. No.
I'm indecisive, so that's what makes it hard to answer rapid.
Oh, you're good. What do you believe separates excellent from average?
I would say confidence in who you are, being happy and proud of who you are and what you stand for. If you can do that, then you can be anything. You can do anything.
Mm-hmm. You think their environment needs to support their confidence as well?
It might not always happen that way.
Right.
You may have to be the flower in the broken garden of death and deadness everywhere around you, but you may have to be that one bright flower, and that's okay. Yeah.
That was awesome. What have you gotten better to saying no to? Ooh. Especially this is a great question because with you just now starting the business, the people who've been established for a while, they say no to a lot. Mm-hmm. For you, what have you gotten better saying no to 4 months in the game?
I would say saying no to being pressured to do things that you don't want to do. So a lot of times when you start a company, you got all these people in your ear trying to get involved and wanting to be a part of your journey. It could be old friends. It can be, other companies trying to sell their services or whatever.
Right.
But just knowing what your values are and what your company, what you're doing in your direction and not feeling pressured by all these kind of forces coming in. You're going to get like a ton of emails from this person saying, oh, I see that you did this. Like, it's going to be so many things. So just learning to really, I pray a lot for just being able to, what's that word where you can, discern. I pray for discernment. Just being able to discern, who's for you, who are the right people to be involved, who do you need to have in your circle? Because everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon when you see that you're doing something, whether it's, it could be someone or it could be like another company. But so just setting those boundaries and knowing what you can afford, what you can't afford, what's going to work, what's not going to work.
Yeah, that's important because sometimes you may want to say yes, but you can't at the moment because you can't afford it yet because you're 4 months in the game starting a business.
Exactly. You can't do it all. Do it all. You got to choose.
No, that's a good point. Good point. So what? Nope. Oh, I don't want to do that one. What is the mistake Nope, I don't want to do that one either.
Don't ask what mistake.
Because it's what is the mistake you're seeing seasoned people do in your industry? Is there even seasoned people doing what you're doing? Not
necessarily, but what I do see right now is a lack in diversity in the travel industry.
Question.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So you've got an answer.
There's a lack of diversity in the travel industry. So when you look at ads on sandals, and when you look at all those ads, a lot of times it just kind of defines one social class, one type of race, one type of background, one type of person. My retreats are literally for every human being, even price range wise. They're very, I try to make sure that they hit all populations.
Right.
And so I think that the travel industry keeps missing that mark and not realizing that a lot of, especially the millennial population, we're wanting to be a part of the experiences. And a lot of different races do travel. We do. Especially even me being the face of my company, being a Black woman, people don't always see us. In Thailand, I was probably one of the only Black women I've seen out there. But allowing,
You
other...
should have went, boogity boogity.
But allowing other races to see that they can travel too, they can be a part of it. So I think that the travel industry really does lack in that, diversifying what travel looks like.
Right. Well, I'm glad you're out there crushing it.
Yeah.
So purchases are less than $100 that have most improved your life.
Ooh, I would say I purchase simple things, like journals, purchasing journals and writing. I love those little things to write in different ways and different questions they'll have and all that good stuff and prompts. I would say as a business owner, there's certain things that you really do need. Like I tried to be cheap. I didn't want to get like MailChimp or things like that. MailChimp and different email campaigns that can help you are worth the investment. They're not, in the long term, it'll add up more than $100, but on the monthly price, it's just like $14 a month. So paying for those things that are not going to be time consuming or they're going to save you more headache are worth it, in my opinion. Right. So just go ahead and invest in the little small monthly thing if you need to if it makes your business run smoother.
Right.
When is it?
Yeah. No, it's cool. I just love, it's cool to bring in someone that is, building it, like still laying the foundation essentially, right? Because, I hear different answers, but your mindset is still in the position of how can I put money towards something to leverage more time back into my life that will help me grow my business. Even looking at MailChimp.
He's getting all in my brain, y'all. He's getting all in my brain. That's true though. Yeah.
I dig it, man.
Time is everything.
Right.
Time, that's one thing you will not get back. People, you can spend money comes and goes, but time is everything. Right. So really preserving that and respecting time. Respecting time is key. When you learn how to respect your own time, other people will respect it for you as well.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Let's say that again for all my clients out there. I hope you're listening. What question? Oh, okay. So since I've kind of peppered you with questions, what question do you have for me?
Ooh, so now that you've been on this journey, what would you say is what would you tell the people like me who are just starting? I feel like I look up to you and you're kind of where I hope to be one day.
Well, you're going to fly by me.
Oh, stop.
You will.
No.
And I think you already have it, right? Which is consistency. Seriously. Because so many people, they will jump into something because it's flashy and it's shiny. Mm-hmm. You've done a really good job of outlining what your mission is and what your vision is. And you're being very consistent towards that goal, right? So I would say consistency, man. Consistency all day. And don't stop because it's going to suck. There's going to be days where you doubt yourself. There's going to be days where people doubt you. There's going to be days that just feels like nothing is working out. And that day will carry to the next day. Yes. And that day will carry to, it would just last for a little bit. And the only way that you make it through all of that is through consistency, right? And I think you already have that. You're already committed to a year out goal, right? Just, I would say stay consistent when you're doing a good job of that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What are you most proud of? When all is said and done, what are you most proud of?
Quitting UPS, I would say, is a big one.
Man, so tell me, why are you most proud of that?
It's not. I guess it was just the first thing that just popped up. So I'm most proud of my daughter.
Of course. Right. But your personal stuff,
yeah. That because think about it, it's a dream come true. I started when I was 18, right? Mm-hmm. So if you do the 30-year career thing and then retire, you're 48 at that point. Whoa, that's like blowing minds. Whoa, you get to retire 30 years in, and what? That's crazy. And you have full benefits, stock options. 401k, right? You get paid pretty good as you start climbing the ladder. And I jumped. And society says, you're nuts, dude. You're crazy.
Yeah.
What? No one does that.
No
Starts
one.
at 18 at a UPS job. Secure, pretty good job. Union. What? You hit the jackpot, my friend. As a matter of fact, when I shared my idea with someone hey, is this it? Right? Is this it? We were pumping gas in a truck and I was like, this can't be it. This is the reason why we were born, is to pour gas into this truck right here. That's it. He's like, dude, you better be happy. You better back up. You better be happy where you at right now.
Stay in your lane. That's what they all say, right?
And I was like, nah, something don't feel right. It still took me 12 years to quit.
Wow.
But I would say I'm glad I jumped.
Proud of you, man.
Well, thank you. It's kind of crazy. You know, one of the doubters there about a year ago asked me for a job. Because he ended up getting quit. He ended up getting fired at UPS. He was asking me for a job, and
well, hold on. Let's run it back.
I was like, he was like, what did he say? He asked me a question. He said something like, do you think I can make it? Like, do you think I can make it in real estate or something like that? After asking me for a job, and I said something like this. I said something like, how about you have the conversation with yourself, which is the same conversation I had with myself when you told me I couldn't make it. And I just left it at that.
Wow.
Yeah. I haven't talked to him since.
Man, and that's a goosebump moment, man.
Yeah, like I had to believe in myself when you were saying I couldn't do it. Just kind of take a note of that and see how well you do.
I think that's all. And it's funny because I had a naysayer moment about my conference, the women's conference. Somebody was like, if you don't have a major speaker, who's going to show up? Why would someone come? Do you even know 50 people? And it was just like knives. It was someone I trusted and knew really well. Man. And it really hurt. It really hurt. It could have been a split second where everything could have changed for me, but I didn't. I stuck my grounds, and now here I am. I have a whole panel lined up. I have, a dessert tasting bar, brunch. Everything's lined up, and my tickets are pretty much almost sold out, and the conference is not until August 3rd.
Boom.
So that moment,
now put her name, and let's put her on blast. No, I'm messing.
Yeah, but that's why that moment of yours really just, it rings so much to my heart. So.
And it's going to happen, right? Because what do they say? They say, your results will drown out your doubts or something like that. Your results will drown out your doubts or your doubters. Your results will drown out your doubters or something like that. But it's it's consistent. It's again, consistency. You will drive the results that you desire to see through consistency.
Yeah.
As long as you wake up, you believe in it, you work on that mindset, and you take action. That's it.
Yeah.
Do a lot of that every day.
Do a lot of that. Inaction won't get you anywhere. Trust me, y'all. Nope. I've lived it. I've done a lot of nothing, and it's got me a lot of nothing. So now I've learned when I do something, when I act, results happen.
100%.
So that you can, if you don't swing the bat, you won't hit anything at all.
Yep. Swing the dang bat. Even if you're gonna do a bunt, right?
Yes.
It's gotta hit. Even it won't be a home run.
Yeah.
But you moved the ball forward, man.
Exactly.
It bounced off, and you moved it 4 inches. Yeah. You're 4 inches ahead than you were 3 seconds ago.
Yeah. And you can't assume where that ball's going to go. The ball may bounce off that person's glove trying to catch it. We take it all deep, I'm telling you, because you over here worried about the ball getting caught, but what if it's not caught?
Yep.
But you are not hitting it all, and you're not taking a chance.
Yep.
So
take a chance, man.
I'm going back to my softball days. So.
Really? Yeah. So I sucked at baseball. I was terrible at baseball.
Man, they call me Jet. I was fast.
Jet? Really?
I was fast. They call me Speedy Gonzalez or Jet. Yeah.
Do you still play?
I don't. I miss it though.
Good. I'll play you then. Hopefully you've lost some skill. Cool, man. So what question do you have for everybody who's listening?
Ooh, that's a good one. I would ask you, why not? And what's holding you back? Don't just say money. Don't just, when you really are thinking about it, don't just say money. Don't just say time. Really, what's truly holding you back? Dig in there. Dig deep. There's a thing I want to kind of leave you guys with too. There's this concept called fear setting. I don't know where I saw it from.
Yeah.
But I think it could help too. Like a lot of times people are, afraid. And so let's take your fears. Let's write them down and let's go back if this happens, then what? Okay. So if this happens, then what? Let's go ahead and go there and see where it'll take you. If you are still so afraid of that result and you can't handle it, okay. But at the end of the day, someone once told me nothing can't be fixed.
100%.
And the only thing that's permanent is death.
Yeah.
The end of your life. But other than that, anything anything can be fixed.
Yep.
And when I start to go through things, I start to keep myself in that place. So even when I fear set, I always remember, yes, I may end up with $100 in my account, but that's not the end of my road.
Right.
It's not the end of my road.
That's huge, man. That's huge. And I trust that the people who are listening will actually take action on that. And if and maybe don't go wild, and I wouldn't say it's wild, but if you feel like writing 15, 20, maybe too much, just start off with 1 or 2 and go super deep in those 1 or 2. I think that's a really good practice. And what they'll find is that it can be fixed. And I think you're exactly right. I mean, you're right, man. You're right. You're exactly right. The world
does not end. If you're still alive and breathing, that is the most beautiful gift you can have out of all, being here.
Yep.
So many people they're not living a quality of life. But if you're healthy, you're functional, you got to get back to that. Because I think we start to forget that being alive is just a gift in itself.
100%. What is it? 1 in 400 trillion is the chances of being born?
Yeah.
1 in 400 trillion.
Man, you almost weren't here. I almost wasn't here.
Dude, like... almost wasn't here. Like that's mind blowing.
It is.
And for people to waste that, that's crazy, isn't it?
It's what's that phrase? A beautiful mind is a something to waste. It's something about, it's a shame to waste. To waste a beautiful mind. Yep. It really is.
I heard what was I listening to today? They said people die at 21 and get buried at 64 or something like that. Like they allow their soul to die at 21 because they give it to someone else.
Oh, that's deep.
They live someone else's life.
That's deep.
Scary.
That is scary.
Freaking scares me.
Y'all should be terrified. I'm telling you, that should scare you straight. I'm telling you, to think that you can live a life of doing something for everyone else but yourself. You will be. I mean, look at all the miserable people that are, your age, my age, are miserable. I mean,
But what do? They blame.
They blame.
And until they take ownership.
I know 100%. I did it too. Yeah.
Yep. I get it. Yep. So cool. So where can everyone find you and the business that you're growing?
Yes. Follow my journey. So project-passport.com is where you can go on the website. You can see my blog. You can see a little bit about me. Lots of things to share. We have a vlog on there as well. You can also visit the Instagram page at Project Passport LLC. And you can also visit our Facebook page at Project Passport LLC.
I love it, man. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Driving all the way from Raleigh.
Yes.
In the crazy traffic that we have.
Thank
Was our traffic worse in Raleigh?
Our traffic is getting worse, in my opinion, to be honest with you. Oh, sorry. Your traffic is getting worse than Raleigh's traffic.
You're on Rayford Road, too, man. That road could be crazy. It's
worse than Raleigh, in my opinion. But honestly, I'm grateful, Ruben. Thank you so much. And I'm happy to share my journey. And if anybody needs anything, I'm happy to help.
Reach out. Obviously, she's here to help. And go on one of those retreats here in the future. I'm sure you will not regret.
Gotta have you.
Thank you.
Thank you.